Today we have a bit of a candid one. It's going to be a bit podcasty, a bit discussion heavy. Hopefully we can cover a bunch of topics, but mainly what we wanted to talk about today was, the format as a whole. We just had appointings, we just had Law and Eclipsed, and now we have CanCon. So we have essentially this big storm brewing of that's a good one, of what's going to be our format as of this weekend. And so we have a bunch of top 8 predictions from a bunch of people in Rad Nauseam and a bunch of people who are part of our community. We have a couple of questions from people who are also active in our community. If you're not, feel free to jump onto our Discord. The links are pretty much everywhere you watch us, YouTube, Twitch, etc. And today I'm here with Cody, Nathan, Brendan, and potentially Carl a little bit later. And we're all here just to talk about 7-Point Highlander and Magic. So on the screen now, we actually have a really cool and fun event that took place on Sunday. And I just wanted to, I will be segueing eventually, but I just wanted to shout out the Bamba Blast Off, I think the name was, from Team Blue Elemental Blast, who came together and got Team Faction and Team Green Sleeves, so some really good high-level teams. And then they also let us on Team Rad Nauseam come along as well. And we played a bunch of fun Highlander games. Everybody played some type of meme deck. We got to see, we had mono black, like Necropotent, Shieldred, Prison, with like Urza Sagas and Castle Locked Rains. We had five color elementals or elementals from Cody. We had Winodas going around. We had Time Walk decks, Goblins, and Team Faction. Each of them brought an Amori companion deck. One of them played creatures, one of them played instants, sorceries, and one of them played artifacts. So
the biggest meme deck of the format, Food Midrange.
And Food Midrange was there, yes, that's true. On the far left, that extremely brolic looking fella brought food, and
I was gonna say, you're looking pretty
pretty
huge in this image.
What can I say?
Did you get the AI to edit it before you posted it?
I widened just that section, that's why. No, but it was really cool, and an exceptional event that, it's just cool for the Melbourne teams to come together in the Plenty of Games dojo and duke it out at a fun event, and it's just very wholesome. Cody, Nathan, Brendan, all of you were there. How'd you go? What happened? Tell me. I guess who won the most? Nathan won the most. Nathan, you can go first.
Yeah, I brought Plague Tribal as usual. Basically wizards. Jeskai this time, trying to tinker with this sort of ETB effect deck that I've been tinkering with for a while, as sort of like a fun breakout from playing walks or other decks. Just, I don't know, it's just to have a bit more, I guess, winning is fun, but when you get to win while doing the thing, that's way more fun. But yeah, I had a lot of sweet games, except for so we got to do this cool thing during the event where basically almost every round had a special rule. So there was plane chase, there was 1v1 commander, there was one where everyone had like a mana reduction emblem, like the Amori. So you picked a type at the start, and then you'd have sort of reduced mana costs. But my first round against Billinghurst, we were playing plane chase, and turn 2 rolls around. We both got 2 lands. I do my plane chase, get Armageddoned. My opponent doesn't lose their lands, and I just get completely owned by this thing. So, but aside from that, it was great. That was my one loss for the day. The wizard deck is super sweet. I'll post a link somewhere eventually, but yeah, having a lot of fun with that deck. How'd you go?
Me on Food Midrange?
Yeah, how'd Food Midrange go, buddy?
God, I got walked up and down Collins Street. It was so bad. My match 1, I played against stock goblins and I lost. I wasn't ready for stock goblins, and I brought a bit of a brew in the food space with like the formidable speaker, and the formidable speaker, candelabra, a bunch of Urza stuff, and a bunch of tutors to find lands. It didn't feel too good. I got stomped by goblins, and then I got stomped by elementals, Shout out Cody, who will tell me about that shortly. I just noticed you're doing the rabbit ears on Cody. Got him. Well, who else did I play against? I got completely torn up by Mill. Mill just posed me. And then I got to beat. We had a nice, fun two-headed giant game where it was like protect the queen, and all of my creatures were the queen, and Nathan was my other head of the giant, and we kind of just protected a bunch of dinky food creatures all the way through to lethal, and we were playing against what is essentially like library control, and the other deck was mill. There was 2 mill decks at this event. But yeah, I lost a lot, and I felt pretty good about it, so Druid lives on. I promise the deck's good. If anyone that's thinking about playing it at CanCon this weekend, don't fret. Just don't sleeve up Formidable Speaker. That card stinks. Speaking of cards that stink, Cody, Elementals.
Okay, dude. Elementals don't stink, okay?
They do when you're drafting them in Lorwyn Limited.
Oh,
Actually, that's fact. That's fact.
Actually
Just play
true.
Vivid. So the deck was actually pretty sweet. I had some really fast mocks and hands versus Capers, and I kind of just put him in the dirt.
Yep.
Sorry, Capers.
No, you did.
Yeah, I think both games I started with mocks, and yeah, it just wasn't fair. But there was the Umori emblem way later in the day, and I versed JD. I cast my 2-drop on turn 1, I cast my 5-drop on turn 2, I cast Vibrance on turn 2, got myself a Guy's Cradle, then tapped... Oh, sorry, that was on turn 3. And then got my Guy's Cradle to cast a Realm Walker immediately. I was just going crazy. The Umori emblem helped my deck, because guess what? It's all elementals. So yeah, Resinary for 2 mana was pretty sweet, tell you what. It's better than Nadu.
Yeah, much better than
Hot
Nadu.
take. Yeah. Card's better than Nadu when it costs 2 mana.
Having access
the deck was sweet.
to a legendary creature in your command zone, which one did you end up picking?
Oh, that was a great game. I versed Stony. So I had Animar in my command zone and my Kahira as well. And yeah, I just got to go to town. Turns out Stony's playing a deck with a lot of black and white cards, so he couldn't remove it once it entered play.
Yeah, Stifle not looking the greatest in that matchup.
No, Animar was very strong there, which was awesome. But yeah, look, the deck was great. It was fun. If you have access to double mocks and you have a bunch of elementals, or you just want to have some fun, deck's sweet.
All right, and
Having,
lastly,
Plagon in the command zone was pretty great for my Plagon ETB tribal deck. So yeah, it was a great day, and yeah, shout out again to Bem for putting it on. It was a lot of fun, and it's playing Magic, the Gathering, obviously it's an important part. So look forward to playing more of these events. Maybe we put one on of our own.
Yeah, that would be fun. Little
Good idea.
And lastly, Brendan, you played.
Played
was it?
Time Vault.
Time Vault.
Good.
Yeah.
I took advantage of our commander rules. So the commander rule was that you had to have your legendary creature in the main deck. So I put Lyrus in the main deck and took advantage of the extra points in the Time Vault deck with Force, Saga, and Dig Through Time. Played really well. Lots of fun. I got to Time Vault combo a couple of games. Notably the 2-headed giant game, similar to yours, Capers and Nathan. It was a Protect the Queen game. Dan playing Stiflenaut had Stiflenaut in hand.
Well, I guess that's the name of the deck.
It turned into a let's just kill them in 3 turns and counterspell anything that would interact with that, which goes very well. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, double stock Grixis versus mono artifacts and mono was it?
Yeah, we were versing artifacts and enchantments.
Poor Team Faction. Faction, it was creatures.
Creatures.
Team Faction brought Amori only decks, and
they took the meme deck thing very seriously. I genuinely believe that they were the winners on the day.
I think so too. They were the most creative decks. And then they played against stock Grixis with Time Vault, and then stock Grixis with Phyrexian Dreadnought and a Stifle, and woo! But on their Amori round, where they got to have the Amori emblem in play all the whole game, they stopped every round there, so that was really good. And I'm getting a phone call that I can't answer right now. But yeah, this is just like you said, Nathan. The gathering is the most important part, and that's a bit of a segue for us. And talking about this weekend, and I guess the meta as a whole. Let's talk, if you guys want to, about CanCon. Who's going? Is all of you going?
No, I don't think Cody's going. I know me or Brendan and I are obviously we're going. We're teaming up. We're driving up with Fred and Cole and Dan. And yeah. So we'll be going. But a lot of people from Melbourne aren't going. It's kind of interesting. We're gonna like talk about what we think the meta is and like how the points are shaking out, etc. But I don't know if you guys have this same feeling, but I kind of feel like there's a bit of a lull in interest at the moment. Like we had that huge end of the year and so many tournaments all leading up to the event, to end all events. And then after that, sort of, it felt like it capped out a bit and people have sort of just been taking it easy. Haven't really seen a lot. Like the main Discord's been pretty quiet. Wednesdays have been pretty quiet. A lot of people playing the new League of Legends card game. And yeah, just I just know a lot of people from Melbourne aren't actually making the trip up to Canberra.
Interesting. I think yeah, I definitely agree with usually we have a bit of a bustle for in public points discussion. Do we have a points update coming soon? Is that with Lorne?
TMNT.
With
TMNT, that's right. Yeah, we're skipping that. Yeah, I think I do agree. There's been I guess the kind of heavy discussion in public points discussion always kind of coalesces near the points updates, but I think maybe that could be symptomatic of the fact that the format's just in a good spot, and like the decks that are good are still good, but maybe people are just like happy with the format and starting to play it. But I do agree. I mean, in Melbourne it might have been a bit of a lull, but I heard there was 30 plus people in Adelaide last night. I heard that from Dukes, who went and played lands and said they had like a ripper of a night over in Adelaide. So maybe something's going on in Melbourne. I know Melbourne Riftbound numbers are like through the roof right now. So I'm not quite sure, but I do agree that a lot of Melbourne players are making the trek up, myself included.
Yeah, it's like when we were getting close to Sydney, we were having like 30 odd people rocking up for weeklies, and now there's like 15, maybe less. I think when we had our little muck around session at your place a few weeks back, there was only half a dozen people or so at Pog. Yeah, it's just been a bit of a quiet start to the year. But yeah, Cody, what are your thoughts? Have you felt the same way?
Yeah, I think like for the first couple of weeks after the Winter Lotus, it was like pretty quiet. I think a lot of people were taking that time to just like rest now that there wasn't like, a big tournament. The holiday season was approaching. I think maybe if there was a big tournament in Melbourne, instead of it being in Canberra, that we would have seen a big resurgence. But as you said, like a lot of our players have been, joining like Riftbound. Riftbound's been going kind of crazy. But at the same time, like I just think it was a like overabundance of Highlander towards the end of the year, and so people are taking their like well due breaks. There's also the Pro Tour coming. Like we also had that just recently. Had some
True.
people go to the States.
Uh,
So there's been like a few like ultra competitive things in that regard. So we've had a few people like Tom Butt, he was busy for quite a while on that, and yeah, Riftbound's been taking it. But I think the health of the format's really good right now. Like announcing early that there were no changes for Lorwyn because the Avatar one was kind of late, but still pretty fine. Because there hasn't been anything that's been all that egregious. I'd say that Storm is still one of the best decks right now because I picked it up, first time taking it to a tournament top forward. So like that itself is saying that Storm is still in a good spot. It's not completely dead or anything, but I'd say that the abundance of Storm players is, not as high. It's definitely a bit more fresh, is what I'll say. The format is looking quite nice. There's a lot of things to do. I think your interactive decks are still gonna do well. I think your uninteractive linear combo decks are gonna do well. Your classic like Days Thoughtseize decks are gonna do well versus like your bots or even Storm or your Oracle decks or your Time Walk decks that are cutting the interaction all in favor of value. Cards like Plagon. Because if you could play a second Plagon, you would, right, Nathan?
Yes, he would. Actually, there's been some rumblings about a new. I'm not going to give anything up. I don't want to give up any of Nathan's CanCon creatures or creature tokens, but I do believe we have a new Plagon has been spotted at Plenty of Games Weeklies. That's gonna break the format wide open. So we'll just keep your eyes out for the top 8. If you see Nathan Smale potentially on stream, keep your eyes out for some new hot tech. This guy keeps breaking the format. First it was Deadpool, who Nathan discovered, and then now it's Plagon. Also, shout out to Brett, who said that they are currently in their Japanese hotel room watching us. That's a bit of a flex. It's like suffering from success. Oh, I can't play 7-Point Highlander because I'm in my Japanese hotel room, surrounded by the best card shops in the world. Hopefully you picked up some cool stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Brendan, any takes on the format? You're often around Pog all the time. You pretty much you're at Pog a lot. What do you see?
Pog fiend.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I've had some discussions with a couple of the local players, and the usual Storm bots. There's been some discourse on Storm where with the recent extra points, it's a bit harder to have backup plans for the deck. So it sort of coerces you into one direction. But yeah, I think we'll see quite a bit of brewing coming out. I've seen everything from mono red to time vault, a little bit of a time vault resurgence, which is nice. Lots of decks coming out around that. Breach, and even Juzza has been wielding a Thorical deck quite successfully. So yeah, I think the format's in a really healthy spot, to be perfectly honest. Looks good. I'm excited to see all the new cards that come out of this weekend with Lorwyn coming out last week, and should be fun.
Speaking of deck lists specifically, I think it's time we maybe jump into what's going to be the core of our stream anyway, because we have a bunch of takes to discuss. Top 8s, decks that are going to perform at CanCon. I've got it on the screen now. You can see the National Highlander Championships, and I'll slowly just start working on something in the background so we can have a bit of a visual as we show off our top 8s. But yeah, we have a couple of takes from people in the format. I guess I'll start with a couple of takes to get us talking about the format a bit more. I've got some takes from Dr. V, known heuristics enjoyer, an actual doctor as well. Let's not forget an actual the PhD doctor too, not the medical. I don't know if he's a medical doctor, but the doctor that gets the paper for being in university for a long time, and also has a bunch of takes that can be considered hot, could also be considered cold. I'm not sure. Doc reckons that the top 8 will be 4 Grixis decks, and they'll all be on Moonshadow, which is going to break the format. Moonshadow, that's right. Moonshadow. Let's get. I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, Doc's of the opinion that this card is going to break the format wide open. Some people are saying that this is a second Nethergoyf for 0 points, which is, I think, fundamentally one of the most powerful cards that Grixis play at one point, just because it's just like a massive monster that they can protect for 1 mana that's difficult to remove. Comes back, it costs a single mana, and it's they often quite play the point. Not a real doctor, but I can give you a look if you like. That's a smart. I like that. I'm gonna use that. I'm not a doctor either. Doc also mentioned that just to keep you guys thinking. So in our top 8 we have 4 Grixis. Doc also thinks that Storm will also be in the top 8, but the pilot is to be decided. Will Richard sleeve up Storm and drive over to CanCon to run it up? Maybe Brennan or Tom or who've also been playing. Maybe a Storm pilot that doesn't live in Melbourne. The other take, is that Walks is gonna quote. Walks is gonna shit all over this one. A quote from Doc. Because of formidable speaker, birthing pod, bullshit. And then the final take. No, there's two more takes. Sorry. Lands won't make the top 8, so we have no Lands. Storm, Grixis, Walks. No Lands in the top 8. That's going against statistics. Because let's be honest, Lands always gets one in. And then the weakest take is that Hexing Squelcher, which is this card here. Hexing Squelcher will not be that good. The card's good, but it will not be in any deck that makes the top 16. So, boys, a bunch of takes there. I guess we'll start from the top. 4 Grixis. Is that too much or is that too little? What do you guys think?
I think we can turn back to the Winter Lotus. I think Grixis is in a very similar spot. Yes, it copped a couple of points in Barragoyf and is it just Goyf and Deadpool
And Tamio.
and
Ragavan.
Tamio and Ragavan. Yeah, copped a lot of points. But you know, we've immediately had a 1 mana threat replaced. Essentially, this Moon Shadow is looking very strong. Potentially I've heard it called the best 1 mana creature in Modern now, or the best 1 mana black creature. So I think you're just replacing threat after threat with whatever comes out. So despite having threats pointed, I think Grixis is in a good spot. Are we expecting lots of bots in Storm? Who's to say?
I think 4 Grixis is probably, I don't know, pretty par for course. But I don't know. I hope there's only like 2. That we see a bit more of a variety of decks in the top 8, except for Lands. I hope that doesn't make it. I hope it doesn't make it into the top 16. But there'll be about 400 people playing Lands, so if you have enough chimps with typewriters, obviously, eventually, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
400 of the 135 that are signed up.
Yeah.
Just from sheer numbers, they're going to get someone in there. It's like... Yeah.
Broken clock, right twice a day,
Yep.
etc.
A classic.
But yeah, Grixis, good. Grixis still probably fine. I'd be interested, like, obviously, if Bus Stop still believe Grixis is the way to go, then they'll probably put some amount of people in the top 8. But yeah, it'll be interesting. That's all I really have to say about Grixis.
What about Walks, Nathan? Because Doc did say that Walks is going to shit all over this tournament. You think
Walk's bad?
Walks bad? I mean, yeah, Walks bad. Everybody, don't look into it any further. Don't.
Walks is bad.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. As Lachlan would say, just it can't hurt you. It's not a real deck.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it hasn't put any top 8s up recently, so it actually placed worse than Breach Bond at the event and all events, and it copped way more points. It copped 3 points, so it's obviously going to be a lot worse than Breach Bond now.
Is that Solito has subscribed with Prime? Thank you, by the way. Is that Tom? It's Tom, right? Shout out Tom.
Yeah.
We love Tom. We're about to talk about Storm. What up, Tom? But yeah.
I heard Storm and they manifested.
Yeah. Oh wow. I arrived at the exact right time. Yes, you did. Yeah. So you don't think that Walks is gonna shit all over the tournament? That's the quote, by the way.
It'll shit at the tournament, but I don't know if it'll be on itself or on anyone else.
How about
Yeah, it'll be it's a deck that'll probably make an appearance, but I'm not sure what the meta looks like. I haven't
yeah?
really been playing a lot of walks in the lead up. So
Mm. What about Moonshadow? Cody, when I think of a
he's a big
card,
elemental guy.
yeah, Cody loves elementals. Cody loves protecting a 1 mana creature with days. What is this card real? What are we doing?
Yeah, this card is actually super real, and it fits the best deck, like the best in slot, is just for Grixis. So strategies that are Xerox, so playing as close to zero as possible, hyper efficient strategies. Um, these ones are going to benefit with Moonshadow the most. So your decks that are containing your baubles, your fetch lands, your Darcy's, your surveil lands, anything that's by happenstance putting stuff into the grave at a really fast rate. So if it is like a Malevolent Rumble, that's only one instance of things going into the graveyard, even though you're milling full cards. So those aren't exactly the best. So it could be good in like a Jund, but I think it'll be the best in a Grixis strategy. This is typically because if you play it turn one, you're probably going to attack for like 3, maybe 4 on turn 2, depending if there's another fetch land, some baubles you're sandbagging for turn 2, because we've seen in the past few years now, all the way back to Streets of New Capenna when Ledger Shredder got released, we're getting really rewarded for holding our free spells for turn 2. So your Gitaxian Probes and your baubles. So Ledger Shredder, you can even play, you sandbag your 0 drops for turn 2 after Darcy survives. A bunch of things you could do, but Corey Steelcutter and Ledger Shredder reasons to hold stuff for turn 2. So you can get a lot of value in for your Corey Steelcutter, for your Ledger Shredder, for your Darcy, now for your Moonshadow as well. So there's all these effects that are allowing you to basically just propel the game forward, take as many game actions as possible, and just get rewarded for it. So casting lots of spells with Corey Steelcutter, Darcy, Ledger Shredder, having a lot of permanents enter your graveyard with Moonshadow. These are all like relatively the same thing. So just casting spells or cracking your fetch land or playing 0 drops in your baubles. These are all roughly the same thing, and you're getting rewarded for it in a 1 drop that eventually turns into a 7/7. So I think Grixis is going to see the highest percentage of Moonshadow out of any archetype. But this card is very sweet. I'm also going to try it out in like Flood Moon. I'm going to try out like a lower to the ground Flood Moon that protects this as well. I think the card's just very real, very sweet. Yeah, not much more to say really. It's just very good.
Yeah, Doc has asked a question of will people start main decking dress downs to stop the counters. I think that a card like this, you don't even need to do anything like that. This card just does, like, it removes counters just by you playing stock Grixis. You play, this on turn 1, turn 2 you play your Corey Steelcutter with your offer fetch lane, which removes a counter, then you play Corey Steelcutter on 2, you play a bauble, trio your cutter, crack your bauble, this loses a counter, you're attacking for, 3 damage or something? Plus your Corey Steelcutter.
Yeah.
You're getting in for 5, you've spent all your mana, you still have, potentially days or force to protect this and Corey Steelcutter. On the next turn, you do the same thing. If you, fetch lands, surveil lands, you don't even need to turn this on. This is just like Netherglyph. It's just incidentally a really good creature. The only bad thing about this card is drawing it late in the game. It's not that good. Obviously, it's not like in a Jund deck. You draw this when you're top decking against your opponent. It's just going to be a 1 mana 1/1 for maybe even a while, depending on your draws. Grixis has the ability to move cards around. If they see this card off of a Preordain or Ponder late in the game and they know that this is the threat they need, they have the ability to move the card away or shuffle it away or bottom it or do any number of things to make sure they don't draw it. So I think that the card selection from Grixis is really what's going to put this card over the top, and that's why it's just like perfect in any
blue-based
deck that also plays Moonshadow and Baubles. Or even
the fact that it's got Menace is something that I don't think anyone's really touched on. Is like, yeah, you're attacking on turn 2 with the 3/3 off a bauble and a fetch land or whatever. Like, but even if they've played a Netherglyph and they've done the same thing, they can't block it. So you kind of have to race it early if you don't have the removal spell. So it's kind of yeah, super interesting how that'll affect combat in the mirror matches. Grixis, will it be playing more to interact with it, or will it just sort of two ships passing in the night, just trying to punch each other to death as fast as possible?
Yeah. My take on Grixis is that with the printing of Moonshadow and the pointing of Deadpool, I think potentially Grixis may be moving to the. I remember reading somewhere that they tested a Grixis build that was a bit more burn focused. Not like burn, but you know, like leaner creatures, a bit more aggressive, the cheaper and freer interaction. And instead of going a bit bigger with like your Baragorvs and your Deadpools and trying to go, you know, win the mid range game, just get on board really early, protect the threats, and just go underneath every opponent. Because Grixis has the ability to do that. You can play things like Lightning Bolt, Price of Progress, Chain Lightning, Dragon's Rage, Channeler, now Moonshadow. There's all of these 1 mana cards that just get in for 3 to 4 damage over the course of a game that add up to, you know, you're dead on turn 3 or 4. Even like Corey Steelcutter is one of the best burn spells we've had in so long, and it triggers Moonshadow. It triggers Ledger Shredder, and you know, we have to pay multiple points now to do the Tameo thing. So even the Tameo game isn't as attractive now that you got to pay 2 points for sitting on top of a Tameo and waiting to ultimate her. So that's my take. I think Grixis is going to go in that direction, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see if there's a lot more aggressive decks coming out of the format now, like Rakdos and like the black-white sort of taxes deck, Grixis, all just sort of trying to put cheap, efficient threats into play and pressure you before you can really get established.
Fantastic. Well, let's get into the top 8 predictions. Why don't we? What I'll do is I have a little notepad here, and I'm just going to write it down so people on the screen can see as we list up the as we list out the top 8 predictions, people can see and read along. So, Cody, I'll start with you. Tell me about your top. What does your top 8 look like for CanCon? What do you think's going to win?
My prediction that I've mentioned earlier to Brennan, I said that a single copy of Oracle will be in the top 8. Additionally, I said that a Dazed Thoughtseize deck will win the event, but I'm uncertain as to what it would be, but my heart leans towards Walks, like a 4-color, no red Walks deck. Could even have Deadpool in it, you know, the 5-color list. But
Walks doesn't play Days.
It could though. Think about it.
It could. All right.
Alright, you don't need 6 mana to combo, buddy. You don't need it. Just go to 5. Just Days. Remove your lands. So yeah, my heart goes to a Dazed Thoughtseize deck winning, but for top 8 decks that will be in there, I also think that a bots list will be in there. I think it's going to be about 2 or 3 Grixis. And we're going to see something really random in here. We're going to see, like, just something that we've never seen before. I'm going to put out a wild prediction of, like, oops all spells or something crazy like this. But also we're going to see blue-red moons in particular. This is also a very, very strong deck. So Dazed Thoughtseize deck, yeah, likely Walks, a couple of Grixis, Bots, Oracle, oops all spells, and I'll go the rest of them blue-red moon, just for safekeeping.
What about prowess? Is that in a similar like vein to Blue Moon? Do you think maybe a prowess player will sneak in? Someone like, for example, Chifley on prowess is somebody I'd put in the top 8 in a heartbeat.
True. That has performed quite well recently, especially at the Tabernacle events, I reckon. I think Chifley won one of them recently. It was like the winner box, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it was Avatar winner box, yeah.
No, the winner box, that was Solito winning.
Solito said 0 chance. That man is washed.
Solito won the winner box on Storm.
Okay.
Chifley won I want to say
a POG event, right? I don't know. Oh, also not going. Okay.
Wasn't it an Underground Sea or something? I don't know.
Oh, if Chifley's not going, then don't worry about prowess.
Yeah. Let's make that Storm, perhaps.
Yeah, Storm
Yeah.
or one more copy of Blue Moon. Yeah, my prediction is just a bunch of Days Thoughtseize decks or Days decks or Counterspell decks. And I'm gonna
Blue
go
base,
for
mid range, and tempo decks is what you're saying, is it?
tempo. You say? Yeah.
What's tempo?
Hey, the line, Bart.
Yeah, kind of something like this is what I'm thinking. So this is my prediction.
I like the Upsal spells call out. If those haven't seen that yet, I think is it Kid that's been doing the Upsal spell stuff. Super cool, really cool deck. Ordered from Legacy, I think.
Yeah, the deck has just looked really strong. Just presenting win after win. Even if you answer the win, you've got all the Breach from Below tokens and a Hogak to kill you. So it's resilient. I think it's going to catch a lot of people unprepared, and a bit of a shout out to the kid himself. So yeah.
Alright, well, as we have Bladen tier 2, obviously Cody knows I'm not going, otherwise he'd snap off Goblins to the top. True, Bladen, Goblins is a bit of a low-key deck as well. They did just get like
Goblins
8 new...
did really well in Lorwyn draft. So sure.
No,
See
Lorwyn's
why he's excited about it.
really well in Lorwyn draft and our fun joke event. Where people brought Amoris and... So, that, you know, Goblins... the natural predator. But yeah, a bunch of... It did get in you. But yes, Cody, this is sick. And this is similar to what I think. I do think that you snubbed lands. I think just by sheer numbers, like, you know, like fish in a barrel, right?
What happens if like 90 people rock up with lands? You reckon they could put one in the top 8?
They
They're
do
all
every
right for
event.
The rest.
They do every event. It's just, yeah. Lands all the way down. I wish Billy was here to get angry about this, because it's not the same when he's not here. Let's move over to Brendan. Let's jump into your prediction, friend. And we'll...
Yeah, for sure.
I'll just... Another one here, and we'll... Alright, talk to me, friend.
Look, I think similar to what everyone else has said, there's going to be a handful of those blue-black based mid-range decks that just grind you out. I reckon Grixis could put up a solid 3.
Okay.
That's my not hot take. It's a lukewarm take. I think Time Vault is going to put in at least 1. There are a lot of brews running around right now. Blue white, blue black, Esper, everything in between. Those that are on Lewis in the companion zone, those that aren't. I think there'll be a few Time Vaults running around, so it's a good time to be a Time Vault gamer as well. You've dodged a lot of points. And yeah, following that, I reckon Moons just seems to be the deck that everyone is gravitating towards right now, especially as the format keeps growing. Just being really accessible with those 8 points. Not having to, you know, fork out for duels and that sort of thing. So I think just by sheer volume of players, you'll have at least 1 or 2 of those in there. Bots, mainstay. I think you'll have 1 of each bots and Storm at least. What does that take me to? 7?
Yeah, it looks like
That's
it.
That's a hot take that I can give for the last one.
Come on, where's free mid-range?
Thorical, mate.
Oracle?
Nah, Thorical. Yeah, I reckon Thorical will be in the top.
Do we want to quickly... Hold on. I gotta get it. I have to get this deck. Where is he? Let me just quickly take a look at it. Where is he? Where's Thorical? I'm just getting Juzz's Thorical
Oh,
deck
if you
list.
look up VFN69 on Moxfield, Juzz's list will be there.
Find it anywhere. Hold on. Oh, it's just in Moxfield.
Yeah, don't look up on 7-point event. Just look up VFN69. That's
Beautiful.
the
Alright.
multi event that Juzza won just recently.
This deck is so sick! Thought Lash is in this deck, Nathan. What the hell?
What year is it?
Seriously,
Great.
Dimir Infiltrator? What are we doing? Juzza!
I love
So
this
I
deck.
believe this deck started as a way of getting spiciness on the 7-point Highlander stats website, and then accidentally into a deck that was doing really well, and then was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll keep going.
This card is so sick. Just like the art, the art's exceptional. Like the card fundamentally is just so heinous. The fact that this just like makes your life total way higher, so it buys you time to go and dig for Thoracle, and then as long as you don't exile your Thoracle, this just wins with Thoracle trigger on the stack. Lash is such a cool card.
Notably, it also beats Endurance. If your opponent gets you, you just keep exiling
my
the
God.
cards responding to the trigger.
Just perfect. This deck's really cool. Diabolic Vision.
Yeah, if I was going to CanCon, this is what I'd be playing. Just a full reference.
Yeah, shout out Jazza. A good shout, Brendan, for your prediction. We've got Thoracle in there. It might not be that flavor of Thoracle, like the Turbo Thoracle stuff, but it could be some type of Thoracle deck. Even the mid-range Thoracle deck probably have enough support. Alrighty, well, let's Nathan, how's it going? How are you? Would you like to give us your top 8?
Yeah, alright, so I'm going to start off with Breach Bond. Okay.
First or 8th? Are we going backwards?
This is just the top 8, right?
Okay. Sure.
I'm just going to start off with Breach Bond because this is a win-win situation, right? So if they make it into the top 8, I've predicted it. I'm a hero. If they don't, I get to laugh at them for not making it in the top 8. So it's a win-win situation. So they're in my top 8 for that. Shout out Lachlan. Good luck. I'll definitely be bantering you in person on Saturday. But so Breach Bond, I reckon Storm. If Brennan's going, there's a pretty strong shot that it'll make top 8. I think there will be. Nadu always threatens to get there. I know Mulch is going, and he's a big Nadu enjoyer, and he was pretty close last year. So I reckon Nadu's gonna make it. Probably like 2 Grixis players, a Blue Moon player. I want to like if some of these stronger control pilots are playing, we could see something like that. But look, there's probably going to be a lands player because, you know, there's like 4,000 of them attending. And if it makes top 8, then I'm right. If it doesn't make top 8, I get to laugh at Billy. And look, I'll just say walks, you know. Just get a little freaky with the walks there.
I mean, you have been getting freaky. You have been getting freaky with it. I can't wait till people see some of the new
tech.
The new tech, dude. We're not gonna
Don't leak it though.
No, we're not leaking anything. I am sworn to secrecy. No one will hear about the new tech. But let's just say that
anyone has a Toby Beastie Befriender full art, I need one.
And a Gribbles token.
And a Gribble token if someone's got.
Toby.
The absolute standout from my Wizards deck, Toby Beastie Befriender. This card's real.
We love this card. Look,
bring that up, Capers. Bring that up.
Get that up. Look at this thing.
Look at this thing. Makes a 4/4. This is what Blade Splicer wishes it was.
The token's not legendary. What?
Not legendary.
How do we know it's Gribble? For those that don't know, there's a flavor text.
Yeah.
Gribble is the token. What's that clown doing?
I don't know. This art's so weird.
If anyone has this in foil, preferably Surge.
No, not
non-foil. Okay.
I need a non-foil full art Toby Beastie Befriender.
And this
Gribble token.
This beast token here.
Yeah, that particular beast token.
Yeah. Yes.
That's me and Brendan in the car on the way up, by the way.
Very much.
Just thinking about the implications of ephemerating this creature. I mean, what are we doing? 12 power?
12 power? It's a lot.
13.
Anyway,
13. Anyway,
13 power.
so this.
Moving on.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not spoiling anything. I'm not registering Toby BC Befriender.
You know what? 2 numbers make the number 13.
And moving on. Yeah, actually, they'll if Justin does register Thoracle for the weekend, it will make it in there. So it's like probably fuck off control.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, get Thoracle in there.
All right. Interesting. Well, we have some decks that are pretty consistent here, it looks like. Let's quickly jump over. Brendan, do you have Cull's top 8 prediction? Did Cull send one over?
I don't know actually.
Otherwise,
Let me
we'll...
have a look.
I'll
Yeah,
just-
he doesn't have a top 8 prediction per se, but he's given his spicy take of predictions. We've got 1 bus stop player in top 8, 1 Toby deck in top 8. Breach and Fast Bond is not as good as Lurrus and Breach, and Lands appears in the data.
Yeah. Lands appears in the data from like, and in
From
134th
on.
spot. Yeah, so that's an interesting one. Breach. So I've said Breach Bond, but we didn't really talk about Grixis Breach or like Gwixis Breach. Is that Lurrus version, is that better than Breach Bond?
This seems like a Cody question.
I'd say the Lurrus Breach version gets a buff with Moonshadow coming out. Now you get like Wan Shitong, Moonshadow, Corey Steelcutter
And the new
as like recent
Katara.
additions. New Katara too, yeah.
New
The
Katara
loot's pretty good. These new cards that came out that are mana value 2 or less, pretty great. The overall format got a nerf because of the Grixis creatures that got hit. So that is an indirect buff to the Lurrus gamers out there. So it did get buffed. I just don't know if it's stronger than Storm after the nerf, is my take. I think post-nerf Storm is still stronger than Lurrus Breach.
We have
And
Brennan.
Breach just sucks, man.
Brennan in the chat saying Breach just sucks, man. I'd like to... Someone screenshot that. Breach players...
Are you going, Brennan, to CanCon? Surely. If you're not, then I have to remove my Storm, guess. Yeah.
Gonna get this on the screen here. Get that ready. We have a little snip for when Breach wins it. All right, let's also Brennan, Doc, Brad, anyone who's still in the chat, if you want to just send in a top 8, I'll happily put it on the screen. Can't believe this level of scouting for the CanCon meta name in the Rad Nauseam Twitch chat room. Brennan, are you going? If you're going, what deck are you playing? What's 75?
Yeah.
Give us your sideboard map.
What are you having for breakfast on Saturday?
And where?
Will
Specifically
you
where?
change underpants halfway through the day?
And where?
Tactics. Where will you change your underwear?
Yeah.
What color? Socks, no socks.
No way you go no socks, dude. What are you trying to do?
That's crazy.
you gotta
I
wear...
mean, he might be wearing his Birkenstocks. I need to know.
Imagine the no socks smell, dude, after 12 hours of Magic.
Yeah, playing with your feet.
Wild. I did scout on Discord earlier for a couple of people's opinions. JD saying that Price of Progress is busted, and they'll be very upset if Reese goes the distance. Reese, the new
You talking about
new
Reese
mana
the Evermore?
elf. Yeah, I believe so. The Persist
Yeah.
Valerie Do.
This card's so good.
Nah, it's shit. Get it off the screen. I don't want to see this thing. Get it out of here.
Why do you hate this card?
This just sucks.
Alright. Let me quickly. Alright, I'd like to give my own takes if you guys don't mind. Just really quick.
Go for it.
Oh yeah, and Capers.
Yes.
What are you? What are your predictions?
Alright. I've been in the tank about this. There's a cabal on the way. There's gonna be a change in this format that many people aren't ready for. So my prediction is this. And I've got the whole top 8. Okay, so this is the entire top 8 from the start. First is going to be Bant Food mid range. That's the number 1. Second will obviously be Abzan Food mid range. Third will be Abzan Combo Food. Fourth will be Prison Food. Fifth will be, okay, enough of this bit. I actually copy pasted it in the chat, so I'll just paste it to save us some time. This is genuinely what I think it is. Food won't even be at the event, I don't think. It looks the same as everybody else's, to be honest. I'm not going to try and break the format open, but Grixis I think is still going to make up the majority of the format, just because they play Moonshadow. I think Doc was right. Moonshadow is a really good card. They're playing Moonshadow. Fundamentally, they're the best Moonshadow deck. They still have some really powerful cards, and pointing the Grixis core just hasn't happened, right? We've pointed Tamio, and like the deck that Matt played at the event at all events is 11 points. I still think that deck with 4 points on it is still the best deck in the format, and I think that the amount of testing that Bus Stop does, if they've done anywhere near the same amount of testing as they did for the event at all events, or if they've even done some brainstorming, pun intended, and just like they've worked on the deck, I think that there's a very good shot that deck's gonna show up. And then Stormbots, Prowess, Oracle, all of those are the same decks we've spoken about already. I don't think anything crazy is gonna happen potentially. I think Nadu could pop in. But I've noticed that like Nadu specifically is a bit sporadic in its like performances. I've seen some Nadu pilots appear in like the top 4 or like top 2 and just like out of nowhere perform really well, and then in the next event they bomb out like 0-3 drop. So I'm not quite sure how consistent the Nadu deck is. It feels very consistent against me, but yeah, I feel like it's just going to be Grixis again, and that's fine. I still think the format's exceptional where it's at, and nothing needs to change. So, yeah, that's my prediction. We have another one here, which I can get on the screen. Why not? Let's do it. Any other decks that we've not spoken about, guys, that maybe good shout?
Black-White Taxes list might do some work.
Yeah. Yeah,
The
I
hot
think
and
so.
moldy
I
Discord.
know there's a lot of people playing it from Sydney that'll be coming down. Don't think we'll see. Maybe like a Rakdos Eclipse deck. Yeah. So maybe like a 2-color moon adjacent aggro deck that's not blue based.
Interesting. Yeah, 2-color moon adjacent seems fine. I think Blood Moon or like the Blood Moon or back to basic variants are good. Maybe like a Jeskai thing, like the mid range Jeskai decks. Someone could be ballsy enough to bring that and not go to time. Fourth Earlingus is such a good card. Yeah, Bread's prediction has a Kindred deck in there. Is Goblins good enough? Maybe Elves? Maybe what else is there? Merfolk?
Beast Tribal.
Beast Tribal. True.
Wizard Tribal. Someone's bringing Plagons.
Actually?
Look, I don't know. I'll post the list. Someone bring it. It's great.
Fantastic. Well, we have a bunch of predictions on the screen, which is interesting. I think the most consistent, just scanning across 5-color humans, Doc said, is interesting. I know Volti brought that to a winner box. I got a couple of questions as well, just to pose to you guys to talk about the format a little bit more as we wrap up the end of this stream. It was only a short stream today, but we have a question about the tournaments, and for tournament first timers, for some people, CanCon is going to be their very first tournament, and they're going to, it can be very daunting. I know one of my first tournaments was like a 30-person winner duel, and I was sweating beforehand. I was like, stressed as, and now I kind of just, I'm past that point. For somebody's first time at a tournament of this size, what tips do you guys have? Nathan, you've been going to tournaments since the early 80s. Tell me about...
So back then, drugs were a lot more illegal. Very easy to just survive mushrooms, ecstasy, all this sort of stuff. But so when I first started playing Counter-Strike, and I was like trying to get into playing it competitively, and I was very nervous before my matches. I actually used to do like a shot of tequila, just to like get the nerves out. After like obviously I didn't need to do that for very long, but my first few games like for finals and stuff were like pretty nervous. But no, for Magic, yeah, at the event to end all events towards the end of the tournament, it was a lot more stressful than at the beginning because I was very close. I lost my winning in, but I was very nervous for that game. I remember I was playing Volty and I was supposed to play on coverage, and I just said, look, I don't want to. It's the first time I've ever declined, but yeah, I was just too nervous at the time to do it. But in hindsight, I wish I had have done it. I think it's just about that, really. It's just like you just do it while you play. You're just not doing anything different from normal Magic. You're just playing surrounded by more people, and there's more stuff on the line. It's just play like you normally would, and then eventually, yeah, you just get less nervous. But the nerves are a good thing. They encourage you to try your best.
Love
Just
that.
lean into it.
That's, apart from the tequila, quite wholesome.
Yeah, but don't bring tequila onto the venue. Don't wake up in the morning at 8 or 9 a.m. before the event and have a shot of tequila. But practicing ways of reducing nerves is important. I've heard some pretty... I'm going to ask you, Cody, in a second, but before we do, Max Torsion, like the vintage... there's a vintage player who often wins in top 8s, multiple vintage Eternal Weekend events, and Max Torsion recommended being slightly hungry throughout the whole event. So only eating to slightly sate your hunger, so that your survival instincts are constantly on the run, right? Because you're slightly hungry, your body's like survival, instincts in the back of your head. If you eat and then you're full, you're gonna feel lethargic. If you're hungry, you're gonna be distracted. But if you're in the middle and you can kind of ride that sweet spot, you're gonna be in predator mode, and you're just gonna. This is crazy stuff.
For the Canberra people, they'll get this, but maybe the Melbourne people won't. But just look, first thing in the morning, 6 a.m., go for a jog in Queanbeyan, and like,
What's
Am I gonna get disappeared there or something? Or?
And like, get in like a knife fight with someone from Queanbeyan and first thing in the morning, and then playing Magic will seem like the easiest thing in the world to do, right? Because you've already almost died. So yeah, you're just chilling after that.
Bold of me to assume the Magic player would win the knife fight, but
No, you don't finish. You like just try and run. Like you just Anyway,
that's why they call it bus stop, right? Because that's where they do their practice at a bus stop.
Yeah.
They're gonna like protect. Stop. They gotta protect their cards while they play.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Cody, are you hungry throughout the whole event? What do you do?
Yeah. Accidentally, I kind of do the same thing as them. Like for long events, say like even the Pug monthlies and stuff like that. We get like maybe 6 rounds of Swiss and then a top 8 afterwards. So if you're playing the whole event and you make top 8, you're playing probably decent chunk of the day. You don't get a lunch break. If you're not starting 4-0, you don't get the the ID in for lunch break. So I've accidentally been doing this quite regularly, where you're just playing non-stop. I play quite interactive decks. There's not really time to eat in between, so you're just kind of surviving off of like spite and caffeine, right? Just thinking like I am going to win this, and caffeine. That's pretty much it. Just make sure you have some water on you. That's also great. I genuinely just have caffeine and water. Try to squeak in a little snack here or there, like a protein bar, but I'm not gonna have a full meal because it'll take away from a bit of the focus and put me in a food coma. So if you catch me after a food bracket, I'm probably ready for bed. So yeah, I think I'm a bit like that vintage player then. So yeah,
love it. Yeah, it's good. Brendan has said I play quite interactive decks, quoting you, and then said that you recently played Storm. Storm is interactive.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah, Veil of Summer is just Cryptic Command or whatever that spell is that the boom is like.
Time walk.
It is time walk. Brendan, what do you do?
Yeah, so one thing that I think, not just for Magic tournaments themselves, but in a lot of high pressure situations, is just take a breath and slow down a bit. Don't rush game decisions. Try and be cognizant of, calling a judge and that sort of thing. Don't ever try and fix up your own games. I think it's good in the competitive environment to always call that judge. It pays to do that. And yeah, I think just slowing down a little bit helps a lot.
Agreed. I also think on the other side of that, slowing down is good. Obviously, you should slow down, but also calling a judge for a slow play. If you feel like your opponent is taking time with their decisions, you can just call over a judge and be like, hey, can you just watch, or like hang around just to make sure that we're like resolving these spells at a quick pace. You can always just like ask a judge to, be nearby, especially if your opponent is, for example, let's say your opponent has put a Goblin Recruiter or a Doomsday on the stack. Nothing wrong with you just calling a judge over and be like, hey, can we just make sure this happens at a swift pace? We have three rounds to go. Yeah, real dagger for Brennan here. Like every time I play against Brennan, I pretty much as soon as the game starts and we're mulliganing, I've got a judge sitting next to us watching, a level 7 judge, ready to time Brennan. They get the stopwatch out and everything just to make sure.
Brennan plays really fast.
Brennan does. Yeah. Shut up, Brennan. And yeah, I don't know. I think just have fun. The thing you remember when you walk away from an event is the fun you had and the people you met more than the games you lost or won. I think the interactions I had at the event at all events is what I remember the most. The things like, hanging out with like Chris, the Eldrazi player who like went undefeated in day 1, playing against Chris, being beaten by him, and then having just met him, I get to go up to him between rounds and keep checking on him, saying hi. Now I got a friend who plays Eldrazi, which I never thought I'd have. Things like that, interactions like that, like Felipe giving me a nice foil Gilded Goose, things like that is what made the event at all events. The games are just gravy, so have fun. That's what matters the most. But yeah, I think that's a nice little segue for us to kind of close up shop today. It's going to be a shorter stream, but the plan was just something nice and sweet to put out before CanCon, just for people that may be driving up to listen to on the way, or maybe just to save on YouTube to fly over. Any final thoughts or discussion points, guys, before I wrap us up?
I'm looking forward to the sort of tournament circuit that we had last year with the POG monthlies leading into like the big MTG Bazaar events, middle of the year and the end of the year, and then trying to get like a big group of Rad Nauseam people to these events to hang out and maybe play games outside of the actual tournaments. Maybe go to the pub and hang out and talk shit. Like I think that's the best part about these things is just being able to go and hang out. And yeah, if you see any of us at this event in Canberra at CanCon, come up and say hey. Yeah, it's always great to put faces to names, and yeah, we love to hang out and hear about how your event's going and what deck you're playing, and yeah, it's the best.
Agreed. Shout out to Tyrannicals, who also subscribed and was our 40th follower. You're the GOAT. Appreciate you. Yeah, it was like the coolest thing of the event at all events was people like stopping me or like seeing the playmat. I'd like sit down from my opponent, bring out the the Rad Nauseam playmat, and they'd be like, "Oh, who are you?" And then I'd be like, "Oh, and then getting to talk to people about Magic and like the community and YouTube, and I got to speak to some people who make their own content. people who are like thinking about it. It was just that was one of the best parts of the event at all events. And then you kind of make those friends throughout the event, and then you keep seeing them between rounds, and you keep asking them how they're going, and they're doing well or bad, and you kind of console them if they're losing or hype them up if they're winning. So yeah, and on the note of the qualifiers, the qualifiers was like the most hype thing I've ever experienced going into the event to end all events. I hope that we have something like that throughout the year as well, because that was nuts. But
Oh,
I
and
think-
shout out Cole.
yeah, of course. Shout out Carl. Shout out Cody as well. Shout out Team Greensleeves and the Bemb for our. That was a fun event. Shout out my gym. All right.
Shout out Faction as well for being there too.
Yeah.
Shout out Faction for bringing the coolest decks.
Shout out JD the cockroach outfit.
What a
Yeah.
day. All right.
Yeah, good.
For those that
Their best walks in person walks player impression. Average walks player. Oh god.
shout out Jonah for not getting a green sleeve shirt and just wearing the grid shirt instead. We all noticed.
But it's got green sleeves, right? The shirt.
No, it does. You're right. Yeah, if you aren't following us already, feel free to follow us follow us on Twitch or YouTube. You can sub to us on YouTube or Twitch. We do appreciate it. But yeah, that's going to conclude our little CanCon, pre-CanCon podcasty thing with our predictions and stuff. We'd love if you want to post in the Discord your predictions. Love to chat about the event, and if you haven't caught it, it will be live. The event will be live, so you can go and watch that. The production of the last CanCon was insane, and I expect it to be just as good this time. So make sure you check that out. We will be post CanCon. We'll be breaking down it a lot. So I predict Nathan to place 9th, says Tyrannical. That's perfect. All right, thanks a lot, all, and thanks again for everyone for coming to hang out. Shout out to Doc as well for sending in your predictions and your questions. Appreciate you lots. And thanks a lot. We'll see you all next week or in Canberra. See you guys.